Iwo, called Iwo Jima during the war, a small volcanic island located in the Pacific approximately 746 miles, 200 kilometers south of Tokyo, has violently awakened once again. It now faces a new destructive force emerging from the depths of the Earth. Mount Suribachi, which served as a strategic point during the war and where the famous photograph of the American flag was taken, once again witnesses events that may forever change the geography of this historic island. Iwo. To Island is not just a historical landmark, but also one of the most geologically active locations in the Japanese archipelago. Formed by volcanic activity over millions of years, it is part of the Aizu-Bonin volcanic arc, a chain of underwater volcanoes and islands extending from the Izu Peninsula to the Mariana Islands. For centuries, local inhabitants lived with small tremors and gas emissions. But in recent years, something has drastically changed in the behavior of this sleeping giant. On September 2nd, as the sun rose over the crystal-clear waters of the Pacific, a deafening explosion echoed across the island. What initially appeared to be a single eruption revealed itself to be something much more complex and concerning. It wasn't just one crater that opened on the surface, but rather 5 distinct craters, each telling a different story about the fury unleashing in the depths of the Earth. These explosions weren't caused by molten lava reaching the surface, but by something even more dangerous and unpredictable. The phenomenon occurring on Iwo represents a specific type of volcanic activity known as a phreatic eruption. When ascending magma rapidly heats the island's groundwater, this water instantly transforms into steam, expanding its volume by 1,600 times. It's as if the Earth itself is being transformed into a gigantic pressure cooker, accumulating tremendous energy that needs to find an outlet. And when this pressure finally finds a path for release, the result is an explosion that can completely reshape the landscape. But what makes this situation even more intriguing is that these 5 craters didn't appear randomly across the island. They formed along 2 specific lines of weakness in the Earth's crust, suggesting there is a pattern, a hidden plan in the depths guiding these explosions. The first 3 craters exploded simultaneously, as if coordinated by an invisible force, while the last 2 followed a geological fault known as Asodai, revealing that the Earth has its own secret pathways for releasing accumulated energy. The dimensions of these craters are truly impressive and reveal the magnitude of force that was accumulated in Iwo's depths. The smallest crater measures 115 feet, 35 feet wide, while the largest reaches an impressive 492 feet, 150 meters in diameter. To put this in perspective, imagine a football field completely destroyed by a single explosion from the center of the Earth. The energy required to create holes of this magnitude is equivalent to hundreds of tons of explosives detonating simultaneously. What makes these explosions even more fascinating is that some of them expelled not just rocks and sediments, but also incandescent lava fragments. This indicates that magma was very close to the surface, possibly just a few dozen meters deep. When these lava fragments were preliminarily analyzed, scientists suspect they are trachyte, a type of silica-rich volcanic rock that may indicate the presence of a more complex magma chamber than initially imagined. The force of these explosions was so intense it created small-scale pyroclastic flows, superheated clouds of gases and solid particles moving at extremely high speeds across the surface. Although these flows were limited and not completely confirmed, their possible presence suggests the eruption has more dangerous characteristics than a simple steam explosion. An area of 474,296 square feet, 192,000 km², was completely covered by a thick layer of tephra, the volcanic material ejected during the explosion. Most surprising of all is that these explosions literally created new land. The westernmost crater not only opened, but also pushed so much material outward that it physically expanded Iwo Island. 270,100 square feet, 25,100 metkilometers of new surface emerged from the ocean, as if the Earth itself was growing before our eyes. It's a powerful reminder that our planet is constantly transforming, creating and destroying landscapes on a scale that challenges our understanding. But here's what should really concern us. If the force of these explosions was sufficient to create new land and form football field-sized craters, what else might be preparing in Iwo's depths? Scientists monitoring volcanic activity know that these phreatic eruptions may be just the beginning of something much larger, a prelude to events that could completely transform not just the island, but potentially affect the entire surrounding region. To truly understand what's happening on Iwo, we need to look beyond surface explosions and examine the signals the Earth itself is sending us. One of the most revealing indicators is the phenomenon known as uplift, which has been meticulously measured by scientific instruments installed on the island. During the first days of the eruption, the island was literally rising 4 inches, 10 centimeters per day, a vertical growth rate that is astronomical in geological terms. This uplift isn't just an interesting number in a scientific report. It directly reveals the amount of magma accumulating in underground chambers. When magma rises from the depths, it needs space, and the space is created by pushing the entire island surface upward. It's as if the Earth is swelling, preparing for something bigger. Initially, the 4 inches daily represented massive internal pressure, but something interesting began happening in the following days. The uplift rate began decreasing drastically. First, it dropped by half, then by half again, until reaching just 0.2 of an inch, 0.5 centimeters per day. For some, this might seem like good news, an indication that volcanic activity is diminishing, but volcanologists know this change may have much more complex meanings. It could indicate that magma is finding new pathways to the surface, or that pressure is being redistributed in ways we don't yet fully understand. Since September 1st, the island has risen a total of 9 4/10 inches, 24 centimeters, an impressive increase adding to the already dramatic uplift Iwo has experienced in recent years. To put this in historical perspective, what used to be the coastline during World War II is now 66 feet, 20.1 meters above sea level. Imagine the soldiers who fought on these beaches discovering that the place where they faced some of history's bloodiest battles is now suspended in air, far from the reach of waves. This pattern of accelerated uplift has a fascinating geological explanation. Iwo is located at the center of a resurgent caldera, a volcanic structure where a gigantic magma chamber is being continuously refilled. It's as if the island were the lid of a colossal pressure cooker, and this lid is being pushed upward by growing pressure below. Since 2021, this activity has intensified dramatically, resulting in multiple eruptions every year, each serving as a reminder that something much larger may be preparing in the depths. The true magnitude of what's happening on Iwo only becomes clear when we understand this isn't just another common volcanic eruption. Scientists have classified this event with a volcanic explosivity index of 1, which may seem low on a scale going up to 8, but represents the largest eruption of the 21st century on this historic island. What makes this even more significant is that we're witnessing the active transformation of a landscape that was once the stage for one of the most intense confrontations in human history. The practical implications of this volcanic activity became immediately evident when Japanese military forces were forced to cancel aircraft landing exercises scheduled for Iwo. The decision to transfer these operations to another island wasn't made lightly. It reflects recognition that the volcanic situation represents a real and immediate risk. If you are fascinated by this incredible demonstration of nature's power and want to continue exploring our planet's mysteries, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and activate notifications so you won't miss any of our upcoming videos about extraordinary geological phenomena.